Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, John Herold, and hope you all are having just a lovely Friday so far today. Thank goodness it's the weekend. Thanksgiving next week. Kind of a crazy time of year. How's the chat doing? Sad day today. May not chat much. What's going on, Ran132? Oh, is that a bot? This helps men 45 plus reignite their relationships. Is this one of those boner pills? Is that what you're talking about? We're probably going to talk a little bit about the meltdowns some more over Trump. The thing is so stupid. The Democrats, as I said yesterday, didn't really actually call for a coup. They just kind of implied it. Like, probably, we all know what you're doing here, but technically they didn't actually say it. And then Trump didn't technically or actually call for any one of them to be hung, but he kind of implied it, like, hey, if you do the crime, this is the law. This is what the punishment is. And everybody on both sides is like on their period and emotionally overreacting to the entire thing. And it's really dumb. So that's fun to watch. Twitter was kind of weird today as well this morning. I don't know what was going on, but it was like down for me anyway. Couldn't get it up on my phone, couldn't update anything. Online, it seems a little better. I don't know. Bitcoin's crashing. Everybody's freaking out about that. That's kind of interesting. Wonder how low it's going to get. I want to time, like, a purchase, a small purchase, since I'm basically going bankrupt from the legal stuff. I want to time a small purchase, though, to when I think it's going to be the lowest. But G-Money won't tell me. He says he doesn't have a crystal ball. So is what it is. Like our Hody, I bought more Bitcoin. Good for you. That's what you got to do on the dips. It is interesting though, like trying to time it, like figure out what is going on and why it's dipping like this. Is it because of the Epstein stuff? Is it because of something to do with Michael Saylor? It's going to keep going, and then once it starts coming back around, all the big wigs with all the money are going to make huge investments. Okay. Zeppel JJ7587. This is your last warning. Stop posting the boner pill link. I have a different boner pill supplier. Rookie Irish. John's down to tens of millions. Yeah, that's a funny joke. I like to joke about how rich I am all the time, and I'm going to continue to do it. It's just unfortunately not true. And eventually, I probably will run out of money having to pay these legal fees until that case is over. But I'm not going to settle. And I'm not going to lose either. But the legal process is that ridiculous that it can destroy people's lives. And that's okay. That's life, right? Gator Rob, seriously saying people are on their period? What WTF, dude? Did you really take offense to that, Gator Rob? Because if you took offense to that, then you're probably on your period. And I feel like you're a guy with the name Rob. So that's even more concerning. Take some Midol, Gator Rob. It's okay. This is America. We can talk about people's periods without getting all butthurt about it. Anyway. Yeah, bravest money is and everything. That is so true. Eventually, I'm going to have to go pro se. That's how the heck am I going to have time to do that? But whatever. I'm not going to burden you guys with that. I'll figure it out. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors of today's show. And then we'll go through the links I got, the tabs I have open on my computer and talk about them a little bit. First up, we got some conscious strength. And love me some conscious strength because I love me some Jordan Sather. Maha yourself with supplements that don't suck from Conscious Strength. Founded by Badlands' very own Jordan Sather in 2019, Conscious Strength products are made in America and won't break your bank, unlike other online brands. Their lineup includes collagen for strengthening joints and hair, electrolytes to get rid of those cramps, greens powder that tastes good and mixes easy, Shilajit gummies, methylene blue, zeolite, and more. Flip the finger to pharma, be your own doctor, and get supplements that you can trust from Conscious Strength. Go to badlandsmedia.tv/strength to shop now. One more time, that's badlandsmedia.tv/strength. Link will be in the description of this video. And then also with another sponsor for today's show is Tamarac Gardens. Love these guys. Are you looking for a better alternative to the over-the-counter drugstore medications? Tamarac Garden began from a parent's desperate need for safe and effective options for their kids, tired of toxic chemicals. Taking matters into their own hands, they began crafting medicine from weeds, wildflowers, and herbs, the original time-tested healers that modern medicine can't match. Packed with antiviral herbs and to boost immunity and fight illness, Tamarac Garden has, for a limited time, their elderberry and rose hips syrup kit available. Not only is it delicious, no more battles with the kids, and easy to make, it will keep you and your family healthy all fall and winter. Introducing Tamarac Garden's new baby lineup as well. Clean, non-toxic, and gentle for newborns and moms, relieving cradle cap, diaper rash, stretch marks, and postpartum pain. Visit tamaracgarden.com today and use promo code Badlands for $10 off orders over $50. Remember to eat your weeds. If you're a CanCon supporter, smoke them as well. Tamarac Garden, promo code Badlands. tamaracgarden.com, promo code Badlands. Joe Gilmore, I demand that John reads the sponsors in Jive Talk. Gator Rob is on one today, guys. Laughy face emojis. You're so awesome. You're so smart. Not butthurt, just calling out your narcissism. How is me saying people on their periods is narcissistic? You like saying shit like that, but you're the homophobe? I wouldn't say I'm a homophobe. I'm not afraid of gays. I'm afraid of gays being around my children. Like, I'm afraid of that type of stuff. Like, gays can be gays on their own time, own property. This is America. They're free to do what they want as long as it doesn't affect me. It doesn't make me a homophobe. Richard Rohr, John Trump never named them. They outed themselves, kind of like someone saying blackpilling was happening. Snickers break. You guys are funny. Maybe some Vagisil will help the gator, says Prevost 13. Who's the evil twin at Badlands? That's a good question. I don't know anymore. I feel like we know. I feel like we got rid of, or they removed themselves, many of them. So I don't know. ClareCat367, Tamarac Garden products are awesome, and they have a big sale this week too. Badlands needs a token gay. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I don't think we have one of those. We have our token black. We have two of them. No token gay yet. I'll work on that. I'll put some feelers out, the metaphorical feelers. But let's get a quick word from the news now that we've gotten a quick word from the sponsors. Let me find the tab I want to go to. Doge. Here we go. No update on the Doge website, everybody. No surprise. We should almost start taking bets on when we think the Doge website is going to update again. It's like never going to happen. Presidential website modifying the scope of tariffs on the government of Brazil. That's it. Those two things used to be like one of my favorite parts of the show, like talking about how much money we are saving or not saving, commenting on how the pace of it is slowing down and how frustrating that is. And then the executive orders, that's like my jam. And it was a very promising start to this administration with the executive orders, and it's really slowed down at a pace that I am not okay with. The Bitcoin market, we'll talk about this first, then we'll get into the peace deal stuff coming out of Ukraine because it's pretty darn interesting. Bitcoin continues slide that's roiling the markets, threatens to break below $80,000. Bitcoin tumbled as much as 6% early Friday, hovering just above its critical $80,000 support level at one point, as investors continued their flight from risk-on assets to more defensive plays. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization hit $80,548 around 7:30 a.m. Eastern. The token has plunged to that price, its lowest since April 11th, marks a steepening of Bitcoin's decline following widespread cascading liquidations of highly leveraged crypto positions in October. Price action has been unimpressive across large tokens. I also have a Zero Hedge article, which I think is a little more optimistic, since that's what this crowd typically likes. Kind of trying to figure out where the bottom is, right? Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. My mindset of this stuff is I believe, like, I've read Software. I believe in the principle of Bitcoin. I believe it's in the future. Rumble's coming out with the Rumble wallet, by the way. They launched that for Android users. Let me see if I can find that on Twitter. The future is still in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically, in my opinion, not financial advice. Get your gold, get your silver. If that's what you believe in, get your money on the market. Not financial advice. But check this out. Chris Pavlovsky put this. Tip button will also be on channel during this current beta phase. Tip buttons will only be visible to users who download the Rumble wallet app on Android. So if you guys have Android, this is what you should do. Go download the Rumble wallet app, sign in, create your wallet, buy some Bitcoin, and then send it to me by tipping me. That'd be really cool. I want to see who's going to be our first, like, cryptocurrency tipper. For the first time in the creator economy, no creator can be demonetized with Rumble Wallet. Tipping will now live on the blockchain, immune from cancellation. Rumble is the future. Absolutely love this. It's great stuff. I was hoping we would be like, they would let us be the guinea pig, because we do have a Bitcoin treasury. It's not even, I don't even know if we're over a quarter of a whole coin yet. Because, I mean, you know, we started that in April or May. I don't remember when it was right after, or it was during the Bitcoin conference, right before Trump announced his treasury decision, and Bitcoin was going up. And, you know, with monthly purchases, even though they're not very big purchases, still monthly purchases at a higher price. When it goes down, it goes down. So that's why I'm saying I hope it keeps going down. I hope Bitcoin keeps going down so I can get more of it. John thinks his shit don't stink, but his farts give him away. That's a good one. Yeah. No, my shit stinks just like everybody else's. John's the token gay. There you go. Token old white guy. We got Matt Trump. We have lots of tokens. John, do you really care about the crowd? I really don't. But I like picking on the crowd sometimes. I like engaging with the crowd. I like the people I know in the crowd. So Gator Robbie's been in the crowd for a while, and I think I like him. We've had some good back and forths, but I don't know if he's legit. I do know that there are people who watch every one of my shows who they're not trolls. They may not even comment in the chat, but I think some do. But they're adversarial. They're looking for things to capitalize on, things to sue me over, whatever. There is a very coordinated effort to take down Badlands, and to a degree, it's been successful in some way. Like, they have had some success in ripping away some of our audience, not all by any means, but they keep trying. Dimitrov, what's this from Rookie Irish? Russia is ready for peace talks and for resolving the problems in Ukraine by peaceful means. President Putin. Yeah, that's what the peace plan. I mean, we're going to go through that here in a second. I had a point, I think, with the Bitcoin thing. There was something I wanted to read. Yeah, it was 126,210, recorded a few weeks ago in early October. I wish I would have sold it all then, waited till it got to where it is now, and then bought it all again. That would have been the move. That's what I should really do with my trillions of dollars, is invent a time machine so I can make more trillions. They're trying to liken it to the timing of the FTX collapse and when things dropped. Went from like 30,000 down to 15,000. But this one guy, Tom Lee, the co-founder, look at that, another co-founder of Fundstrat Global Advisors and head of Ether Treasury Strategy at Bitmine, has predicted that Bitcoin could rebound to between 150,000 and 200,000 by end of January. I don't put any stock into any of those predictions, by the way. Like I predict Bitcoin will be 500,000 by February 2nd of 2026. I hope none of you buy it because I said that. Anyway, let's talk peace plans. This is a little more interesting, a little more up the devolution alley, and something we've been waiting for and talking about for years now, like since this conflict started. And we'll start with, I think, maybe the actual peace plan. 28-point peace plan in Ukraine would force Kyiv to give up additional territory in the east, cap the size of its military, and agree it will never join NATO, according to a draft obtained by Axios and verified by a Ukrainian official. U.S. official and source familiar with the proposal. Why it matters, guys. This is why it matters. The U.S. side is pushing Ukraine to make a deal on an aggressive timeline, and despite the plan including proposals Ukraine has repeatedly rejected up to now, President Volodymyr Zelensky is not ruling it out. White House acknowledged, the plan is not easy for Ukraine, but said the U.S. believes the war must end, and that if it doesn't, Ukraine is likely to lose even more territory. Steve Witkoff is allegedly the guy who put this together. Marco Rubio helped him out, as well as Jared Kushner. Witkoff also consulted with Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev. This guy I just shared that post of right here. So that's interesting. This is the guy, I think, that posts all those Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, the Q stuff, Q references, which is notable. Where am I at? Witkoff, so Dmitriev told Axios he's optimistic about it because, unlike past efforts, we feel the Russian position is really being heard. President Vladimir Putin has not publicly endorsed the plan. Maybe that's what that Twitter post, maybe that'll count. After meeting Dmitriev, Witkoff and Kushner also discussed the plan with Zelensky's national security advisor, Rustem Umerov. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll presented the plan to Zelensky on Thursday in writing. Afterwards, Zelensky said he was prepared to hold talks about it with Trump and his team. Between the lines, Zelensky described the plan as the U.S. vision, but not a final offer. He said Ukraine had been clear about its red lines and would give its input to make the plan truly meaningful. Stay strong, John. Thank you, guys. Reminds me of Michael Scott's 45-point plan. That's funny. I didn't think of that, but now I am. Q Awakening. If Bitcoin is not fiat, why is it valued in fake fiat? I love that question. And I've asked that before. And I don't know if I can give you a good answer. But eventually, things will be priced in sats. Phil Scarborough. Dark forces don't want Badlands around because it encourages people to think critically and question the narratives thrown at them. Yeah. That's definitely our goal. That's definitely what we're trying to do. We also aren't controlled in any way. You know, like nobody's ever been told what they can and can't say on Badlands. But it's not just dark forces. There's also other people in the community that are doing it as well. And that's the part that's really frustrating to me. Like, just do your own thing. But no, they got to try to build their audience off of destroying our audience. It's just weird. Or destroying what we have. Yeah, hopefully the one thing I am hoping for with the lawsuit stuff is to get to the bottom of the financing of it, because I can't imagine, like, the cost is insane, and I don't understand. I mean, it could be contingency funding. I totally get that, and I probably shouldn't even be talking about this stuff, but if it's not that, how? Who's funding our destruction? Shiny Sis. Good to see you, Shiny. John, I've been following you since Friday nights with Sean Morgan. This show and DPH are my faves. Just wondered if you ever did that interview with Mel K. I'm able to find it. I did do an interview with Mel K. Did she not post it? Was it too controversial? Am I too controversial of a figure for Mel K to post that interview? That was a long time ago. Your evil twin is your alter ego. Don't think of anything better to do. Good question. Yeah, Badlands continues to grow for sure. Anyone remember when Dan Pena said if we knew who was behind Bitcoin, we would run as fast as we can away from it? I do remember that. But did we ever find out what did he ever say? Like, that's the worst when people are like, I know this thing, and if you knew it too, you would agree with me, but I'm not going to tell you that thing. Like, just tell me. Otherwise, I have to by default not agree with you. John, even your admission that your shit didn't stink. My shit does stink, by the way. You included the deflection that so does everyone else's. You just got to worry about your side of the street. Okay, guys. I will stop commenting on everybody else's shit stinking. Only mine. I can only verify with first principles that my own shit stinks, and my kids. I have changed their diapers many times. That's a great point, PJ. You are not wrong. Mel K is base. She wouldn't block you. Yeah, I don't think she did that. I just completely forgot about it. Maybe she did too. Richard Rohr. Well, John, your closet gay twin is kind of evil, a bitchy. Thanks, man. You know, MG show rips on. Yeah, they do. They've been doing that since they've never been fans. Maybe the reason you guys think I'm so cranky is because I fast, intermittent fasting. I usually don't even eat until supper. Sometimes I'll snack a little bit before, but maybe I really do need a Snickers. You know what? If Snickers would sponsor the show, I would eat a Snickers during the show. How's that? Gator Rob, FYI, public service announcement. I'm all for John and Badlands. Any speculation or assumption is just wrong. It's your opinion about, but thinking I'm not part of this community is way off. But yeah, dude, I'm not implying that at all. I should not have done that. Please don't sue me. But yeah, Gator Rob's he's like in every episode. I pick on the ones who pick on me. I feel like it's mutual, and I feel like that's like we're flirting with each other. I think that's okay. That's fair. John, why not pay for Ash to go through lawyer school? Then she can represent you. Just a thought. Yeah. Probably need the money. I don't know if I can't afford lawyer school for Ash. We could probably figure out to do it pro se. We'll see what happens. Is the thumbs up not working? I don't know. Okay, can you guys stop interrupting me? I'm trying to read the peace plan here. Zelensky described the plan as the U.S. vision, but not a final offer. He said he said Ukraine had been clear about its red lines. Let's go through the plan. Okay, and by the way, this plan has been put together by Witkoff, and I'm assuming with the input of Russia. Ukraine has not given input to this. Like, this is the plan that, like, hey, this is what you need to do for peace. Here you go. You don't get to really do anything. And also NATO, the European countries, they're not part of this at all. This is Russia and the US coming up with what it's going to take for the war to end. It's the same plan, if not more strict than what they could have done back in March of 2022 or 2023, whatever it was, the original peace plan. But anyway, the full plan, Ukraine's sovereignty will be confirmed. And I think this is interesting. I was going to go through and highlight this, like which ones I want to read, but I decided I want to read them all. So but I only have one highlight here. This is interesting because what does that even mean? And who is confirming it? Like, when it comes to my sovereignty, do I need other people to tell me that I'm a sovereign individual? Like, is that what verifies my sovereignty? And then same for a country. Like, if you're going to form a country, and like who confirms that country's sovereignty? Is it other like, what does that even mean? And these are honest questions. Like, I don't have an answer for that, but I feel like it's just weird to include that, especially as the first one. And with how corrupt this country is, maybe that's a bigger point than we think. Because I don't think, based on the actions of a lot of the elected officials over there, and a lot of the corruption, the government, like United States, and the commingling of all sorts of BS, you can make an argument that they haven't ever been a sovereign, or they haven't recently been a sovereign nation. You can make the argument that we haven't been either. I just think this is a notable point. You guys may okay, Chad, is it dinner or supper? You know, I flip-flop on that. I think I say supper. Patrick Kekistan, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. Alicia, John pulled me in from X-22, and I haven't watched him in years. Supper's a southern. I don't know. I feel like I don't even CC you're in the chat. What do I say supper or dinner? Supper is East Coast maritime lingo. We should come up with our own word for this. I'm all about like co-founding new things. And whenever there's like I don't know, what do you call it, this or do you call it that? I feel like those are great opportunities to just let's co-found a new word and make that a thing. And then eventually, like one of these things we're doing, like whether it's the Twitter scissoring or whatever we decide to come up with for this, eventually that's going to catch on and it's going to be a thing. And we're going to be able to look back and be like, you owe me royalties for using that. And we're going to sue you if you don't give it to me. Because that's the thing now. So that we got to start doing that with everything. We're all co-founders. In the future, we're going to sue everybody and everything that I said supper earlier. I did. Okay. So supper is what I say, but I think we need a new one. Sinners taken must be dupper. I feel like we can come up with a whole new word too. We don't have to just like combine the two words. Dinniper. That's not bad. Kind of long though. Dinner is Sunday at noon, or if you are having company. What? I get it from my mom. I try to find a text she sent and search for dinner. Was so confused why there were no results because she wrote supper. Brunch. You guys, I don't think you guys are understanding the assignment. We need new word. We need to create a new word. It doesn't have to be a real word. We can just make something up. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, let's keep going here. A comprehensive non-aggression agreement will be concluded between Russia, Ukraine, and Europe. All ambiguities of the last 30 years will be considered settled. That's another notable thing. Like, what does that even mean? Is that in terms of land? Like all ambiguities? There's been a lot of ambiguities, hasn't there? So what does that mean? And this is why I want to go through this, because there are parts of this that are interesting, and I have no idea what they're even referring to. But you'd think in a contract, it would have to be well defined, like what they're talking about. You can't just say like, yeah, all ambiguities, they're settled. What? It is expected that Russia will not invade neighboring countries and NATO will not expand further. Makes sense. Part of a peace plan that, a peace plan to end the war. It's going to include something where the sides are not going to continue invading each other. Not that both sides were invading. The other guys started it. NATO started it. A dialogue. Don't tell GBA said that though. I don't need that kind of drama in my life right now. A dialogue will be held between Russia and NATO, mediated by the United States, to resolve all security issues and create conditions for de-escalation in order to ensure global security and increase opportunities for cooperation and future economic development. Trump's after those rare earths, guys. I hope he gets them. Ukraine will receive reliable security guarantees. A U.S. official told Axios this would be an explicit security guarantee for Ukraine from the U.S., the first time that has officially been on the table during these talks through the proposal, though the proposal does not offer further details on what it means. And then the size of the Ukrainian armed forces will be limited to 600,000 personnel. Ukraine's army currently has 800,000 to 850,000. It's around 250,000 before the war. I think that's a weird one. Like, you guys your sovereignty will be confirmed, but you can't do whatever you want. You can't have whatever size of army you want, though. So are we really guaranteeing or confirming their sovereignty while like not letting them make sovereign decisions as a nation? Not really. 7, Ukraine agrees to enshrine in its constitution that it will not join NATO, and NATO agrees to include in its statutes a provision that Ukraine will not be admitted in the future. No more ambiguities there, I suppose. NATO agrees not to station troops in Ukraine. Note, NATO countries, including France and the UK, have been working on separate proposals that would include small numbers of European troops on Ukrainian soil after the war. This plan appears to disregard that possibility. Yes, it does. European fighter jets will be stationed in Poland. That's like why? Well, I need to look at a map here. By the way, Geopolitics with Ghost will be on after this show. So if you want an actually educational breakdown of probably all this stuff, I would encourage you to tune into that. He is he's such a whiz. But let's see, where is Poland in relation to, God dang it, give me a world map here. It's just weird that I'm trying to figure out why are they specifying the fighter jets in Poland when they're like right after they talk about NATO, neither side being able to join NATO and no NATO troops can be in the Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like that's how do I just want to explore Earth. Thank you. Man, Google Earth is so funny. This is a clever idea. This is pretty cool. I'm not even sharing my screen, am I? See, guys, this is proof right here. You flat earthers, look at that. It's freaking round. I have eyes. This is a live feed from space right now. Anyway, let's look at, where the hell is Poland? There we go. So they're basically outlining, like, this is as close as you guys can get to Ukraine, is Poland. Which makes sense. Got the buffer from Latvia and Lithuania, Belarus, and then Ukraine. Good stuff. All right, let's keep going here. The U.S. guarantee. The U.S. will receive compensation for the guarantee, as we should. If Ukraine invades Russia, it will lose the guarantee. If Russia invades Ukraine, in addition to a decisive coordinated military response, all global sanctions will be reinstated, recognition of the new territory, and all other benefits of this deal will be revoked. If Ukraine launches a missile at Moscow or St. Petersburg without cause, it's because I don't like them, the security guarantee will be deemed invalid. Ukraine is eligible for EU membership and will receive short-term preferential access to the European market while this issue is being considered. A powerful global package of measures. I wonder how that equates to a Mike Johnson type package. To rebuild Ukraine, including but not limited to the creation of the Ukraine Development Fund. And this is the thing, like we're sitting here talking about how we're going to rebuild Ukraine and all these things. Guys, Ukraine is like one of the most corrupt countries in the world. The only one I can think of that's probably more corrupt is maybe our own. And we're talking about all these development funds. Since when do we ever see those things not get abused and have some form of fraud or whatever in it? I don't trust any of that. And then here we're going to get access to their gas infrastructure again. Great. I just want to know what this. I need more details before I can get excited about some of this stuff. But maybe this is how we weed out all that corruption. I don't know what the plan is, and I'll try to be a little more optimistic. Like, I want to see us, if we're going to get involved and intermingled in these foreign affairs, like, I want the more what's in it for me attitude instead of here, we'll be your piggy bank for the rest of eternity attitude. Do with these funds as you will. We need to get rid of the IMF as well. That thing needs to be disbanded completely. But no, here, the World Bank will develop a special financing package to accelerate these efforts. Remember when Joe Biden was speaking on December 7th of what was the year? Was it 2016? I don't remember the year exactly. No, it wasn't that. It was 2012. Oh, gosh. Anyway, when he threatened to withhold the $1 billion if they didn't get rid of the prosecutor, that was a loan like this to help the Ukraine infrastructure and development and gas industry and all that stuff. This part here seems very much like same old, same old. I don't like the sound of it. Russia will be reintegrated into the global economy. Not that they want to be or care to be, really. I mean, we're just going to start trading with them and it's not going to be like taboo anymore. But they've totally de-dollarized and de-risked themselves. Like sanctions don't affect them like the administration likes to pretend they do. The lifting of sanctions will be discussed and agreed upon in stages and on a case-by-case basis. The United States will enter into a long-term economic cooperation agreement for mutual development in the areas of energy, natural resources, infrastructure. They will be invited to rejoin the G8. How many different Gs are there, by the way? Don't we have the G20, which is actually 21 countries? Then we have the G8. What are you guys saying now? You guys come up with a good name for me? John, that's so gay, kid. I take that as a compliment coming from a gay man like yourself. The earth is flat, not according to Google Earth. And Google Earth would not spin the narrative like that. They would not lie to me. Dinner supper will be called fork night in my house. Oh, I love that. Fork night? Who came up with that? Nebraska Pop, Fargo Soda, Nashville Coke. That is a weird one. When I was 13 years old, my baseball team, like Babe Ruth team, we made it to the Babe Ruth World Series. We got to go to Arkansas. It was awesome. But like everybody made fun of us because we called pop different than what they called it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have a pop. No, it's called a Coke. Okay. Serial killers down there. It's freaking weird. It's not every Coke, not every pop. Like, what if you want a Sprite? How confusing would that be? Like, hey, can I have a Coke? And they give you a Coke, and they're like, I wanted a Sprite. It's not specific enough. Or no, Coke is too specific to the one brand. It doesn't apply to everything. Call sign Cuja, good to see you, man. Oh, Miss Rise Attire, I need to concentrate on soft disclosure. Oh, I need to pay you guys for that. Eating naked? What? Marina in the Woods says eat naked. That's a little too personal. PJ Corgan, you're not getting the $1 billion. Yeah. Request John, please make emojis for you and Ash. Thanks. Yeah, I should update the emojis. I haven't done that in a while. What do you want my emoji to be? What do you want Ash's to be? I mean, I should do one for everybody. Man, chat's popping off right now. No, Coke means cola, not Sprite. This is so confusing. What is going on? Let's set the record here. It's soda, dinner, basement, and bag, not pop, supper, cellar, sack. See, I agree with her. Except, no, it's pop. Yeah, I don't agree with you. Never mind. Okay, stop distracting me, guys. I'm trying to read here. Frozen funds will be used as followed. 100 billion in frozen Russian assets will be invested in U.S.-led efforts to rebuild and invest in Ukraine. Russia's okay with that? That's shocking. I guess they haven't had the money anyway. Like, is what it is. The U.S. will receive 50% of the profits from this venture. See, this is the deal Trump wanted before that Zelensky got upset about and rejected. Europe will add 100 billion to increase the amount of investment available for Ukraine reconstruction. Frozen European funds will be unfrozen. Now, where are those frozen at? The remainder of frozen Russian funds will be invested in a separate U.S.-Russian investment vehicle that will implement joint projects in specific areas. This one will be aimed at strengthening relations and increasing common interest to create a strong incentive not to return to conflict. I like that. That's some sovereign alliance lingo right there. A joint American-Russian working group on security issues will be established to promote and ensure compliance with all provisions of this agreement. Based. I'd like to throw somebody from Badlands hat in the ring to be on that working group. I feel like we'd fit in. I feel like we deserve it. We've been talking pro-America-Russia working relationships for 4 years. We should put Bernie Brett on that panel or on that group. Russia will enshrine in law its policy of non-aggression towards Europe and Ukraine. It's kind of dumb. Like that matters. But okay, yeah, as a matter of law, we will not be aggressive towards Europe and Ukraine. Okay. The United States and Russia will agree to extend the validity of treaties on the non-proliferation and control of nuclear weapons, including the START 1 treaty. If only we can get Israel to do that. That'd be cool. Ukraine agrees to be a non-nuclear state in accordance with the treaty on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. The Zaporizhia, struggle with that word, nuclear power plant will be launched under the supervision of the IAEA, and the electricity produced will be distributed equally between Russia and Ukraine, 50-50. There are co-founders, apparently, of that thing. Co-owners, actually, technically, if they're actually getting 50-50, that'd be co-ownership. Both countries undertake to implement educational programs in schools and society aimed at promoting understanding and tolerance of different cultures. That's some DEI BS right there. Get that out of there. All Nazi ideology and activities must be rejected and prohibited. Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk will be recognized as de facto Russian, including by the United States. Kherson and Zaporizhia will be frozen along the line of contact, which will mean de facto recognition along the line of contact. Russia will relinquish all other agreed territories it controls outside the 5 regions. Let me see if Google Earth has those in here. Okay. This is going to be really difficult to... Crimea, Luhansk, and Donetsk. Interesting. Here, I'll share my screen. Donetsk is right here. So this whole thing. Luhansk. Whoops. Where the hell is Crimea? I should have paid attention more in geography back in the day. And all these, I'm just going to search for it. Crimea River. Oh, that's right, down there. I forgot about that. Interesting. Okay. But then this and, what did they say? Dnipro? Kherson. Okay. I'm going to have to tune into Ghost Show now to figure out what the hell they're talking about here. After agreeing on future territorial arrangements, both Russian Federation and Ukraine undertake not to change these arrangements by force. Any security guarantees will not apply in the event of a breach of this commitment. Russia will not prevent Ukraine from using the Dnipro River for commercial activities. Agreements will be reached on the free transport of grain across the Black Sea. An Humanitarian committee will be established to resolve outstanding issues. I thought we said that all outstanding issues were settled. What happened to that? All ambiguities in the last 30 years will be considered settled. All remaining prisoners and bodies will be exchanged on an all-for-all basis. Hostages returned. A family reunification program implemented. Measures will be taken to alleviate suffering. That's a little vague for me. Ukraine will hold elections in 100 days. Love that. So once they agree to this, they have to hold elections within 100 days. I wonder if we can get Dominion voting systems to be the ones who do those elections. I wonder what the elections are going to look like. That'll be really interesting. Whenever they hold elections here, they're going to be very highly monitored. Maybe not monitored. Maybe monitored is the wrong word, but there's gonna be a lot of interest there from everybody. Like the Sovereign Alliance, Russia, Trump. They're gonna want in-person, same day voting, all that stuff. The regime's gonna want their voting machine shenanigans. I'm wondering who's gonna get that contract and how they're gonna do it. Then who's gonna run? That'll be interesting. Maybe I think I said it a long time ago on a show. But wouldn't it be awesome if we got election fraud exposure coming from the Ukrainian elections? And I still think Vladimir Putin should run for president of Ukraine. That'd be so funny. All parties involved in this conflict will receive full amnesty for their actions during the war and agree not to make any claims or consider any complaints in the future. This agreement will be legally binding. Its implementation will be monitored and guaranteed by the Peace Council, which is headed by President Donald J. Trump. Sanctions will be imposed for violations. Once all parties agree to this memorandum, the ceasefire will take effect immediately after both sides retreat to agreed points to begin implementation of the agreement. See some rants coming through. Cam Cooksey from Rookie Irish. From henceforth, dinner shall be referred to only as fork night. Signed into law November 21st, 2025. We should put that in the agreement here. Point number 29. Dinner shall be referred to only as fork night. Lee Walden. All right. Is this peace plan what BB and what was expected? I recall 28 points. Never saw the details. Yeah, we didn't see the details when we talked about this on Wednesday. We never officially saw details of the peace plan that they were putting out back in March of 2022. I think it was 2022. Could have been 22. I don't remember. This war's been going on for a weirdly long amount of time. So it's kind of hard to remember all the details. I don't remember at one point Putin came to the table and was like, hey, this is how we stop the war. These are the conditions. And again, remember his war was to denazify Ukraine. And there's only one little point in here where it brings that up. And they don't spend a lot of time on there. There's no mention of the biolab stuff in here either, which I think is interesting. But Zelensky said he would meet with Putin. I think he was going to go and they were going to talk peace at one point. It was NATO and the United States and whoever at the time were like, yeah, you're not doing that. We're going to continue this proxy war. And they did. So I don't know if this is exactly all the same points, but we say what we say that because it basically is. We assume it is. We never saw what those points were. But in terms of the land and the breakdown, yeah, that's the same as far as we know. Keith Higgins, you make dinner reservations, not supper. Ah, that's a good point. It's the major mastication meal. Feed bagging describes it best, but it could be construed as teabagging, the lesbian version of ordering a flop. You love me some Keith Higgins. Anyway, this I thought this was some weird propaganda. Zelensky and Vance discussed U.S. peace plan for Ukraine. And remember, we're not, and I don't want to speak for everybody at Badlands, but a common theme from Badlands is like we're not just ready to coronate Vance as the next successor, right? I think many people would love to have Trump run again, 2028. Why not? The people want it. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't be a law preventing him from doing so. It's unconstitutional. But to see like they're trying to give Vance credit for this piece in some fashion, and it's Barack Ravid who wrote the article too, which is notable. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky spoke with Vice President Vance on Friday about the U.S. proposed peace plan, according to two sources. The call was the highest level engagement between the U.S. and Ukraine about the new plan, just because he hasn't spoken to Trump yet. They want a signature by Thanksgiving. Okay, if we get a signature by Thanksgiving, what is 100 days from Thanksgiving? 100 days from Thanksgiving is, come on, AI. Monday, March 6th. I'm trying to think. So that's they have to hold the elections within 100 days. I wonder if there's anything meaningful around that time frame. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But anyway, I feel like this is some weird form of propaganda where they're trying to insert Vance into the peace thing, even though it was Witkoff and Kushner and that Dimitrov guy, and it was probably the plan the whole time. But they're trying to make it about Vance. And apparently the Trump administration delivers ultimatum to Zelensky that if they don't sign the plan by Thanksgiving, intelligence sharing and weapons deliveries will stop. I feel like we've threatened that before, but don't threaten me with a good time. I love the sound of that. CanCon, the EU stipulation could nuke this deal. No way Russia accepts that. Which EU stipulation? And supposedly Russia worked with the United States to come up with the deal. CC said that's the last day of my lease on the Florida apartment. Very significant. It's good to know. John, by Trump trusting insurrection punishable by death means he has invoked the Insurrection Act because military is death, civilian not. I don't think so. I mean, I've played with the theory that, people have been talking about Trump having invoked the Insurrection Act going back to November or more or sooner of 2020. I've never seen like the evidence of it, right? It's not that it's saying that's not possible he did. Like that could have been done in conjunction with whatever county government plan was put in place. I don't know for sure, but I don't know. Cancun says that Ukraine can join the EU. They might be okay. I mean, the EU, depending on Trump's future plans for them and the peace deals that Trump will eventually be signing with all these BRICS nations, the EU is kind of making themselves irrelevant in a lot of ways. So I don't know. Marine in the Woods says Insurrection Act will happen, just not there yet. That's where I'm at too. Globalists need the war to continue. Yep. Have a good day, everyone, from the Montana Lurker. Good to see a neighbor. Oh, yeah. Claire Cat says PDJT couldn't take Z's call because he was meeting with Mondami. That's right. They were meeting they might be meeting right now. Oh my God, it's 12:50 already? Okay, I got to cruise through some of these. House Oversight rejects bid to avoid Clinton testimony. Deposition set for December. House Oversight Committee has ordered the former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to appear for closed-door depositions in December, rejecting an attempt by their attorney to block subpoenas tied to the panel's Epstein-Maxwell investigation. In a letter sent Friday, Chairman James Comer dismissed attorney David Kendall's argument that the committee should rely on written responses rather than question the Clintons directly. I cannot wait to see that. Oh, it's closed door. That sucks. Dang it. I would love to see that televised. House Dem leaders contact Capitol Police after Trump death threats. This is what I'm saying. It's all so stupid. The Democrats are the party of violence, by the way. They've never not been that party. They've been threatening violence and trying to get their people riled up. There's a video on my Twitter profile. I'll try to find it and repost it again. But that's them. And so not only is this projection, but this whole thing is political theater. And Trump, he leaned into it. And I see why he did, because their reactions are ridiculous. Trump did not threaten them with death. And Trump did come out and clarify afterwards that no, he does not want to hang members of the House or Congress. But the reality of the situation is, if people have committed treason, sedition, the crime for that is death. Like that is a fact. I'm not trying to argue away from that. That is a fact. And Trump is not the one who made that a fact. That has been a fact for a long time. If there are people in our government or in the United States, whatever, who have committed treason, then yeah, it's punishable by death. They should be put to death. Why is that controversial? It shouldn't be. But the whole drama around this whole thing, and I think me and Ash are going to fight about this tonight on OnlyLens. She requested to fight about it because she disagrees with me. I don't think the video that the Dems put out directly calls for a coup. It just implies it. What they said in there, and we'll play it again tonight before our little debate. What they said in there is technically not illegal. And maybe it's a technicality and we can be upset about that, but the reaction from both sides, like all the people on the right, like, yeah, put him to death. Come on, guys. If that is what we're putting them to death for, I feel like we're in the wrong, because I feel like they've done a lot worse, like actual stuff. You know what I mean? There are actuals there along the way. It's been normalized. Hopefully we're getting to the bottom of it with a lot of the Rico Grande stuff. But we can't be we can't be the people that, and this is just my opinion, feel free to disagree. That's cool. I feel like it's a snowflake way to respond to people. Like, we're going to get upset over that video and actually want them put to death over it. That's an overreaction. That's dramatizing it. And what these guys are doing is dramatizing it as well. It's all drama. Twitter scissoring. That's the word we're going to normalize. Twitter scissoring. Yeah, tune in tonight only, Lance. We're going to debate it a little bit. CanCon, it was Russia's red line in the Maidan coup. It's a pass-through for EU to trade tariff-free with Russia. If Russia negotiated a trade deal with the EU, perhaps then it's acceptable. Yeah. I'm very interested to see more specifics on the reconstruction of Ukraine, CanCon. Maybe we can talk about this on OnlyLands if you decide to join us. Because it sounds like we're going to make another investment, but we're going to get return for it. And the EU is going to put some money into that pot. I don't think they're getting a return for it. And then we're also putting money into, we're putting money into the deal with some of the frozen Russian funds. And we're going to have like a separate economic thing. I don't know. I'm curious to see what connects to the rare earths. John, that video threatens the security and command structure of the U.S. What should the penalty be for that? I mean, did it though? Or did it just say like, hey, remember, you can't follow unlawful orders? Again, I understand like what they were trying to do there. We all do. We can see right through it. But we're going to put him to death for that? For like vaguely implying, I mean, really? Just seems soft. That seems like something Europe would do. I feel like we're better than that. I want to believe we're better than that. Anyway, more story. I think I have more stories. Boasberg moves forward with contempt inquiry into the Trump administration deportations. This guy's a douche canoe. I'm going to spend time. I have like hardly any time. This is kind of a big story. Apparently, Mike Huckabee, who is the ambassador to Israel, warmly received Jewish American spy Jonathan Pollard at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Pollard, who was born in America, was turned away from the CIA due to being deemed emotionally unstable before joining the U.S. Navy. Pollard, whatever, would then spy for Israel, giving them U.S. intelligence that Israel was explicitly restricting from obtaining. Pollard justified the crime by saying he was molded by a lifetime of anti-Semitic treatment, leading to his arrest for spying in a 30-year prison sentence. After his release, Trump donor Miriam Adelson personally flew Pollard to Israel on her personal jet. That is wild. But I have a clip here from Levitt on this. I think. Somewhere. I thought I did. Oh, well, anyway, the White House was not aware of this meeting. I don't know where that story is. Yeah, here we go. White House was unaware the U.S. ambassador to Israel met with convicted spy. That's a little concerning, I think. Got to wonder what Huckabee's up to. Again, Ghost is, I'm pretty confident Ghost is going to be talking about this on the show. But then I do have one more thing concerning the Trump Mamdani meeting today. Here's what Carolyn Levitt said.
I won't get into the president's thinking on it. I think you'll all hear from him directly. I also think I will just add, it speaks volumes that tomorrow we have a communist coming to the White House because that's who the Democrat Party elected as the mayor of the largest city in the country. I think it's very telling, but I also think it speaks to the fact that President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone and to try to do what's right on behalf of the American people, whether they live in blue states or red states or blue cities, in a city that's becoming much more left than I think this president ever anticipated in his many years of living in New York himself. I won't get.
Okay. We're gonna watch that video again right now because I see the chat, and maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am underthinking it. What am I searching for? Sedition video. By the way, did you guys see there's a new thing on your account where I don't even know how to look for, where you can verify like where you're from, and that's not how you get to say. Oh, I'll do that later, I guess. Here's the video. Hold on. I think that's the one.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
Who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens.
like us. You all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad.
But from right here at home.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
Like so far, guys, I'm being honest. Again, totally understanding what they're trying to do here, but what have they actually said that they should be put to death for? The part I think they lied about was like, right now this administration is trying to pit, the military against its citizens. But I mean, just speaking in a court of law, like that's not saying that's not a crime. That's an opinion. And then it's true that, yeah, you can refuse illegal orders. That's not wrong. Trump has said that, things about not the refusing orders, I don't think, but in terms of like the enemies within, stuff like that. He said stuff like that. But I'm just like, what I'm seeing the overreaction for, and this is like, we're gonna be calling for the death of these people over this when we think there's been actual treason and sedition and stuff that's happened, right? I do. I believe the Russiagate stuff was treasonous. And it's great to hate. Like, we should hate these people. They're awful people. This is like some form of propaganda. But they did it because they knew that they would get the reaction that they're getting. Like, both sides are react. This is where I'm at. We'll finish the video and then I'll get you guys out of here. But
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard.
And that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
Your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
And who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
CanCon says, hold on. CanCon says, Congress has no authority to address the military. Totally agree. Especially to subvert the commander-in-chief, even by qualifying it by illegal orders. We have a chain of command for a reason. These faggots aren't in it. Totally agree with you. But these guys weren't doing, it's a public video. And they didn't say anything that, and I know this is an unpopular opinion. I don't think they said anything that is technically illegal or that we should be calling for their death for. There are so many people in this community who have said much worse things. Just saying. And I don't want any of you guys put to death over it. Or most of you guys anyway. So, but tune in tonight. We're gonna have a little debate on it. We're gonna do some pearl clutching. It's gonna be a fun time. Lee Walden with one more rant here. How about we do a short regarding Constitution and what it says for the only law that's the Constitution is treason? How about some sort of short show? Start the ball rolling, buddy. Yeah, I just don't have the time. Okay, so you guys are saying they did address the military. If I were to make a video and say all those same things that they just said, and I'm sure I've said more direct, worse things publicly on video before. Like, does that mean committing? If I said right now to the military, like, hey, military, we're speaking to you. Right now, this country's in a tough spot. They're being pitted against, you guys are being pitted against American citizens. And it is unlawful, or no, you don't have to obey unlawful orders. Like, is that, did I just commit treason doing that? No. But you aren't in Congress. Well, neither are they. They're all illegitimate. I feel like I'm not doing a very good job making my point. Baiting me into OnlyLands on his birthday eve. Yes, I am, CanCon. Come on in. Yeah, hey, Spetzel made a good point. Recall the remember your oath talk during the Biden administration? What about that? You don't have the title of senator. Okay, are we really? CanCon, you come prepared tonight. We're going to have this talk. It's going to be fun. I'll try to do a little prepping so my arguments are a little more sound. Hopefully there'll be one person there that's with me. I just feel like everybody's clutching their pearls and like we're all overreacting, both sides. Anyway, I'm going to get you out of here. Head on over to Ghost Show. I'll rate it here. And don't forget that thumbs up. The Real Mega Mama John, your opinion sucks. Thank you. There are military members that will second guess their commanders because of this. I love you, but you're wrong. They are leaders of our country, not a podcaster. So you think there are people that are going to now second guess their commanders because of that video, because of Mark Kelly? I just disagree. And that's okay. Thank you for the rant and the $5. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Make sure you tune in to Only Lance tonight. Get yourself some soft disclosure, guys. We're going to be rolling out some new variations and products very soon, just in time for the holiday season. So, yeah, softdisclosure.com. And with that, I'll get you guys out of here. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a good weekend.
Before skincare went synthetic, people used something simple, something real: tallow. Grass-fed and finished beef tallow is packed with vitamins A, D, E, and K. Nutrients your skin actually knows what to do with. It locks in moisture, restores elasticity, and defends against winter dryness. No water, no preservatives, and no BS. Unlike plant oils or chemical creams, tallow mimics your skin's own structure. Elbows, hands, knees, post-shave, anywhere your skin's crying for real moisture. Perfect for gifting or keeping your own skin soft when the cold hits. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Badlands for 15% off. Ancient care, modern truth.
Soft disclosure.
0, 1, read all about it. 2, 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me?